Hey, I'm back. It's getting late now. I'm probably going to close the park here pretty soon. But I got my 10,000 steps in and I walked 5 miles, which is more than I've done this week at all. So I'm really excited about that. I'll probably get back up to 8. I'm still trying to work that out because I like walking that amount of miles there. I'll probably walk Mariner Park, which is an 8-mile trail in a giant circle. So, excuse me. That's a pretty good walk, and so I'm walking this amount of distance to keep my weight down here. And one of the things that I do is I try to eat 2,500 calories a day, and then today I ate like 2,000 calories. I think roughly give or take. I had it all up. It came about 2,100 calories, and then walking 10 miles. Not 10 miles. Walking 5 miles. 10 miles is in the future, far in the future, but it's in the future. Walking 5 miles. That's roughly about 10,000 steps. So I believe I burn a calorie roughly every 6 steps, I believe. So I'm not going to do the math off the top of my head because I got a calorie tracker for that. So that's about 1,000 calories for me. So I'm back down to 1,000 calories, which means I can eat some dinner tonight or something like that because I'm trying to keep it under 2,500. But my overall fitness goals, along with keeping my weight down or keeping my weight in check, is to become good at the training. So what I mean by that is I'm not setting myself up to look or be a certain way. Instead, I have a light kettlebell and a heavy kettlebell that I use at the gym. So the light kettlebell is for muscular endurance, and the heavy kettlebell is for muscular force. And then the walking and the cardio, that attributes to my stamina. And then I have a few exercise sets that I do for mobility and flexibility, including a thoracic workout that I got from workouts from Taco Fleur. So I suggest looking that up if you want to be good at mobility and flexibility and kettlebells. That's where I learned proper technique and proper form. Before that, I did kettlebells for about 2 years, but I stripped the flesh off my hands. I bruised my elbows, beat up my body. I was doing it all wrong. And after about 2 years of that, I decided to go take some time off. I did a year of training. I got the kettlebell exercises from Udemy there, and I was in contact with the community for a little while. And then I found a decent formula of how I can train myself. So I did this for a very long time, probably 6 to 8 months, where I would practice the exercises with a 35-pound kettlebell, and then I would film myself doing the exercises and try to correct any deficiencies that I saw. I did that with the overhead press, the clean, the swing. Swing was essential to learn properly. Racking the kettlebell, and I'm about year 2 in, and finally I'm starting to see the benefits of the racking of the kettlebell and opening up the front of my body and making sure that the front of my core is not tight from the bottom of my core all the way to my upper chest. So that's one that didn't come very easily to me because I've got a stomach right there, and I'm trying to slim that down. But finally I'm starting to get those muscles activated after about 2 years of working on that. So racking the kettlebells, you hold the kettlebell on your chest, and then you kind of squeeze your glutes and your core, so you're holding it on your core instead of on your chest or anywhere else. So all the weight's down on your core. And where I'm going with this is my exact fitness goals are to be good at what it is that I do, the five schools of thought that I'm working at, but not have like a singular ideal that goes over that. So it's very slow going. I started out with mobility and flexibility and kettlebells. Then I got a gym membership at One Life Fitness, and I got myself a trainer, and I started working on like the gosh, I don't know. I'm gonna call it the hack squat machine, even though it's not a machine. It's just it's like a vertical squat where you load up your shoulders, and then you do the squatting, and then the leg press, and then like the leg push and the leg curls, and then um, they have like the old school hammer machines, the 1990s hammer machines, the originals, where you load up the weight and then you push it. It's not like a cable weight or a Smith machine or anything like that. So I got a trainer to help me out with all of that. And then finally, after about 3 months of doing that and the kettlebell work on top of that, and I've just now started the walking, I finally got myself a good exercise plan for myself to help me grow in all 5 fields. I just have to keep at it for like technically 6 days a week of exercising. I might even change all that up and just go by fortnight instead. So I think traditionally fortnight was 2 weeks, so I might just break my weeks up into that instead of just like the traditional 7 days, 24 hours a day, because there just doesn't seem to be enough time in the day to address all the fitness discrepancies with my body. I've got like the 8 hours of work that I put in, and then the rest of the time it's either making sure that I eat properly or making sure that I'm doing the exercises that I need to do. And there was no fast track to that. It took me 4 years to get to where I'm at, and now I'm in a place where I feel like I can like grow and get better at what it is I want to get at. So if anybody's thinking about doing all of this, walking is a good way to start. Walking will just open up your muscles and keep them active. Running will do the same thing. Running will do it a little bit more, but I have a bad ankle, so I don't normally do the running. Light kettlebells was a good place to start. Lightweight lifting, and if you can swing it, get yourself a trainer. That was very helpful to me. My trainer is very nice, and he definitely helps me along with everything I can. And of course, I ask him a bunch of ridiculous questions about training, about how to take it to the next level, about how to do this and that without killing myself. Because, you see people at the gym, they're loading themselves up, and what's not really talked about is they've been training for like years. And I mean, there's lots of years, time and effort into what they're doing. So you just can't start out that way. You have to start at a beginner level and kind of work your way up. And I consider myself still at a beginner level, and I'm just kind of somewhat mid. So if we're talking about, I don't know of any good leveling systems except for Dragon Ball Z. So we'll go with Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker of Metal Gear Solid 5 leveling system. So I think you've got I think it's D, E, C, B, A, S, S plus, and S plus plus. So I think I'm pulling in about maybe a D plus when it comes to fitness. I've still got a long way to go. So I definitely recommend practicing and trying different things if you're really serious about doing this or thinking about doing this. Getting yourself some help. The Western ideals of fitness, like the Arnold Schwarzenegger and the Franco Columbus, those aren't the only types of fitness out there. There's other types of fitness that might be more suitable for people. I know a guy who does he does a lot of flexibility and mobility work, and he was telling me that one of his trainers is in Canada, and his trainer taught him a lot of techniques that are very high in the field of ballet that you wouldn't normally learn unless you did ballet. I'm talking about flexibility to the max, doing all kinds of contortion exercises and stuff like that. So don't think there's just one kind of fitness. The type of fitness I'm working on is very generalized, very, very like mid-level fitness. Like I'm not going towards any goals. I'm just trying to make sure that my technique and form is correct, and performing that at a small amount of weight and a high amount of weight, and I'm letting everything fall into place between that. But then there are other goals that people might want to pursue with mobility and flexibility. You can take these very far, especially the strength aspect with the suffering of the other aspects. I see a lot of like physically strong people, but they don't have good balance and they're not very flexible. Same the other way. I've seen a lot of physically good people with good balance and good flexibility, but they don't have like a high amount of strength. So it depends on where you want to go and how far you want to take it. So with all that being said, that was like my small fitness rant, because I think anybody can do fitness if they wanted to do that. Even walking is fitness. If you want to do what I'm doing and practice walking from Rivendell to Mordor and become, like the Fellowship of the Nine, because that's my lame joke about all this walking. Anybody can do that. Even the Fellowship of the Nine started walking from Rivendell to Mordor, and that was extreme fitness. They went from Rivendell to the Mines of the Moria to fighting a Balrog, all the way up to the mountains, all the way to Mordor, all while walking, and some running involved. So with all that being said, I will catch you guys in the next walking video, which will probably be tomorrow. Probably 10,000 steps, and then I'll probably hit the gym after that. So with all that being said, I will catch you guys in tomorrow's walking video. Take it easy.